So, before you go and pick up Natural Doctrine, you need to ask yourself, do you like tactical RPGs like Final Fantasy Tactics and Valkyrian Chronicles? Only with a less than stellar story and a difficulty ramped up to about 10 times what you expect. If you do, then Natural Doctrine might be for you. So let's go ahead and take a look at Natural Doctrine for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and the PlayStation Vita.
Alright, check it out. We are gonna fight ya!
We can't dawdle any longer. We need to hurry up and get out of here.
So, because this game is spanned across 3 platforms, the overall presentation, look-wise, kind of takes a hit, especially on the PS4 version. I imagine this is to kind of balance out that everyone has the same looking experience. While it's commendable, it kind of sucks for those who get the PS4 version. There's really no point. We can just get the PS3 version and you won't really notice that much of a technical advancement, and you can save yourself $10 if you do so. It is cool though that you can cross-platform from the PS4 to the PS3 to the PS Vita, so that's actually a cool feature. Sound, the music's okay. I mean, it's not nothing that you'll remember 10 years down the line or anything like that, but it gets the job done, especially during battles. Character voices, they're okay, both Japanese and English. They're not gonna hurt your ears. Although the dialogue they say can be questionable at times. Overall, it's not the most impressive looking game, but it's not the worst looking game either.
We must be close.
Hey! There he is! Over there!
Yeah!
Go! Come and get it! I'll cover you!
So, gameplay is probably the more interesting aspect of Natural Doctrine. It tries something different with the linking system. This allows you to get extra hits in with your allies, get extra movements, special crits, and stuff like that. Now, this will be good because both you and the enemy can use it. Although the balance issue comes in that you will always be outnumbered, so the enemies can really take advantage of the linking system, which always seems like you're at a disadvantage for every fight, especially when you get towards the boss enemies. I don't think that the linking system is the best option when you're always going to have the player outnumbered and outmanned, at least about 6 to 20. But when it does work, when it's on the even ground, you can actually find a lot of enjoyment in the linking system. It's for those who really love to strategize, like to plan out their moves 10, 20 paces ahead in battle. So if you're a strategist enthusiast, you'll probably love the linking system. For everyone else that's a general tactical RPG fan, you might find it frustrating and a bit unfair, especially in the later levels. And since this is a RPG, you can level up your characters and you can find new equipment within the field. One thing I didn't like is that you actually can't shop for equipment. That's kind of disappointing, so all your equipment really relies on the chest, which can be hard to pick up because you can't pick up chests during linking and you really want to link so you can get the advantage in battle. Also, if you really want to use magic, you need to be aware of the Pluton system. Now, Pluton is a valuable resource within the game that pretty much everyone wants to get their hands on. Now, throughout your adventures, you'll find chests with Pluton. You'll gather more and more. But during battle, if you really use magic, you'll notice that you'll drain out your Pluton supply, and this really has an effect on your rating as well as your survival in battle. So you need to be really careful if you're the type that really loves magic. While I think the Pluton system is okay, I don't think it was really expanded on. I think it's just a shortcut way to not have to deal with mana points and things like that. It works to some degree. It can get a bit annoying when you really need to use a spell, but you know you need that Pluton supply for something else, so it's kind of a trade-off. It's not bad, it's not terribly good either. It's somewhere in between. It's not like the linking system where it can be really good for you or really bad for you depending. So last but not least is the multiplayer. This comes in 2 forms, the 1 vs 1 and the co-op. The 1 vs 1 kind of plays out as a card game where you can get cards from the single player and you can buy packs to increase your deck, in which that deck is used then on the battlefield, typical to the single player battles. So it's nice, it's really strategic if you like both card battling and tactical RPGs. It's a nice little mix that actually works really well when you get the hang of it. The co-op is kind of the same formula, except you and a friend use their deck of cards to actually go out and do co-op missions. These missions can be a bit tough, more so than the actual single player, which still has the unfair advantage of giving more enemies than you could probably handle, especially with the linking system. But if you have a well-coordinated team, you could probably do a lot.
My, aren't we lively? I came out to see what all the revelry was about, and it turned out to be you guys.
Zeke, what on earth were those things?
Don't underestimate him.
So here's the basics of the story. You play as a character named Jeff, who is a soldier for the city of Feste, which you're in charge of going out and gaining access to goblin dens and wiping them out for the betterment of mankind. It's honestly not that deep in detail. There are maybe a few plot twists, but anyone who's played a tactical RPG, or an RPG in general, will already know what's going to happen. I would suggest you just kind of muscle your way through the story if you like the combat. It's not really something to sit down and tell your friends or you'll remember 5-10 years down the line. I will say some of the character dialogue is actually pretty funny. It reminds me of something from the Tales series, so if you actually like those interactions after missions, those are actually pretty enjoyable.
Over there.
So, NIS tried something different with a lot of mechanics, and some are hit and miss. This game is really tailored towards the hardcore tactical RPG player who really wants to sit down and put in the work to learn the linking system, and who doesn't mind an extreme challenge pretty much throughout the entire game. For the casual audience, I would say wait for a price drop or just kind of avoid the game altogether. For more news, reviews, and geek related things, be sure to check out putthatback.org.